welcome back to Myld Style. Real cars, real life, and real budgets. And really upset because I'm back on the same road again. My goal this morning was to get out a little earlier and do somewhat of a maiden voyage because the car I'm driving right now, my G35, the Infinity, the Pigeon, it's killing me. So, and by that I mean, as I was joking last week, I wasn't really joking. The AC is one thing. There are some bumps. I mean, this car needs some work. I'm not going to lie. It needs just maintenance and suspension bushings, things like that I have at home for it. Actually, I have been stacking up parts for this car. And I do really want to make it nice. I want to go ahead and make a 6-speed, or go ahead and make it a manual and do the, oh my god, illegal, oh my god, that is nuts. They put canyon signs up. Alright, I'm really pissed. So, that just made me so nervous. Yeah, this car's really, it's worked really well, and the AC's really helped me out this summer. And the main problem is that it has killed a lot of my motivation to do anything else, because if my main car is working well, then the rest of them kind of, I'm used to them needing some work. I'm used to their, being something to do. And with this one, there hasn't been a lot to do, and I really have been just stalling for space. I mean, a lot of what my issues have been lately are about stalling for space. Mostly because, as I was mentioning, everything I have to do next involves taking something apart for an extended period. The van, it needs wiring. It needs me to go through an amp draw test, which is something I'd really like to do, but it's just not something I really want to do in a parking lot or something I need to use Mike's shop for. So it's something that I haven't been able to do. The Lexus does need the steering rack and the alignment and audio and wiring and AC and then some performance. And the tough part about it is that, as well as this car has been running, I haven't been driving the Lexus. Look at these people and their lack of turn signals. Oh, I guess it's a crosswalk, but still, because no one. Oh, and a turn signal. Great. So that would be the Lexus. It still needs a bunch of work, and I want to get back on it. So in order for me to get back on it, this thing needs to get parked. One of the reasons this thing needs to get parked. There's a lot of reasons this car needs to get parked. But along with the gold Lexus, we do still have a white Lexus, and because I know I can fix it, I do still want to fix it. The issue with it is that it needs to be in a place where it can be opened up and jacked up and diagnosed properly. I mean, I just don't have a flat stall to take the car apart. I mean, when I built it the way it is, it was in a driveway. So I didn't have space when I built it in the first place. So I definitely haven't had space to work on it recently. I'll pop in some more storage pictures here because we were just there the other day. So that's another car that needs space. Don't think this isn't a begging thing. I'm working on what I can. I'm looking at options. I am working on writing up, partner proposals. I can do, I have plans. I have marketing. I have plans. Next car on that list would be the Mercedes. The Mercedes also needs space in order to do the LS swap as far as measurements and things like that. Another thing, and this is all getting kind of gobbled up. So back to the space stuff. The main thing that needs space is the Honda. If we're going to do the K20 swap on Preston's car, we got to have a place where we can keep it for the winter in order to do that. And so that's not something I can facilitate right now. It is something I'm working on. I have a couple of friends, specifically one arm I'm twisting to see if I could maybe use a garage for the winter. But thank you for your support. So again, all of this stuff goes back to me just needing space. Yeah, I have a whole sheet here, and and that I'm still trying to remember, which goes back to the biggest and most important car a lot of people think, besides the Mercedes, is the Corolla. And the Corolla needs space as well. I even bought an engine for it, which is sitting in my living room. Doesn't belong there. It belongs in the car. The only way I can get in the car is if the car has space for me to do all that stuff. So again, there's just more stuff. Really, one of the biggest things that I'm dealing with, aside from, morning traffic, is that that's cute. I don't know. We're going to leave the space talk there because I need to get into some other things. So, the other thing I need to get into is the editing. And I know I keep complaining about it, and I do apologize. But it seems like every week when I sit down to edit, some kind of nightmare happens at the 11th hour. About a month ago, I wrote out a schedule for what the next, through episode like 29, I believe. And so, I would scream, but I'm on camera. And I wrote out, based on the footage that I had, because I got a lot of footage the weekend Ryan was here, I wrote out episodes and how I wanted to split them all up, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, we're going 20 miles an hour because the person in front of this person has never seen a bicycle. So back to the editing. Set out a schedule based on the footage I had and what I knew I could use and how I could parse it out. Long and short, I stay about 7 weeks ahead. That's always been my goal. I take that from my Irish buddies. Shout out Juicebox. And just taking deep breaths here. So I like to stay about 7 weeks ahead. So that allowed me to not freak out too much about having not filmed over the past month, because I haven't filmed over the past month. And so, knowing I had footage in the can, as they say, I was going to be okay. Now, what happened since is that I have gone back and not found the footage that I thought I had. I have no idea what happened. It's been a crazy couple of months between school and work and everything else. Thank you. Same place every time. Fucking people out here, man. So between school and work and everything, I just haven't been filming, and my back and everything else, and the heat. It's been 100 degrees for the past month here. So I just haven't been filming, and I thought I had plenty of footage in the can, so I'd be fine. Well, sure enough, I sit down last night to get episode 19 together, and what I originally had planned based on my list was, I've spent most of the week resetting the resolution because I told you because that was the original editing issue. Well, now I got it all re-resoluted, which it was done wrong, and then I still got ready to use it all last night, and half of it's missing. And there's nothing worse than trying to tell a story and you realize that half of the fucking story is missing. Excuse my language. You realize that half of your story is missing. Yeah, that was fun too. So I realize half my story's missing. So I go, well, okay, I can at least piece it together and da-da-da, and then there's some other issues with the audio and part of it, and so I just kind of basically had a meltdown. Beyond that, I said, okay, persevere, make up a new plan. Hey, Nice. Ryan's up there. So make up a new plan, no problem. So I sit down to go through more footage to make a new plan, and that footage isn't there either. Because I had a whole day of footage of working on the Mercedes where I went through and I cleaned off the entire fuse panel, all the terminals. It was a lot of work. So I did all that to make the car run, and actually had the car running, which was the footage I was going to use for this week's episode. And that footage is nowhere to be found either. I don't know what happened to it. I thought I maybe filed it wrong or something, but in any event, not happy. Distracted. Yeah, dropped a tire. Dropped 2 tires, actually. But, yeah, so looked for that and frustrated. So, no Mercedes footage. So then that was supposed to be my episode for this week. Right now, I still don't know what I'm going to have for this week, so that's why I'm filming this. Didn't want to use the same road again. I'm also going to take my other good friend Aaron's advice, because he told me to just do the road I'm going to end up on right now anyway, and that's what I'm going to do. So I don't like going that road because you can tell this car has a brake judder, as most Infinitis do. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get an episode today that shows us installing the battery and spark plugs on the Mercedes and getting it driving again, because I do have a bunch of stuff I need to do on that car. The problem is that backs me into kind of a corner of my magical lead time of episodes has essentially disappeared. So could be a good thing. I do think that I'm going to be able to withdraw from school because, yeah, anyway. But I do think school may be erased from the picture, because that's been the one thing that, on top of work and life and the cars, keeping up with school and keeping a good GPA and keeping interest in school has just been horrible. So, with school out of the picture, that might cause things to change up on the channel, meaning that we may be down to, and never say never. When I started this, I really never wanted to. When I started this, I really never wanted to have to film and edit the same week. That's a lot of work. I know some people do it. I know one of the people I feel is the best at this YouTube stuff, and that's Cletus McFarland. He can do it and put them up the next day or same day, and a lot of people are really good at that. It is just not something I am able to do, mainly because I don't have facility. So to plan to be running around and being at someone's house every weekend, hey look, we're back to the space again. To plan to be at someone's house every weekend with parts ready, tools ready, and a plan is not as easy as it sounds. And then which car are we working on? And hopefully, making it somewhat interesting. But I'll be honest with you folks, I have zero desire to do things just for the sake of content. When I say real life, when I say real cars, real life, and real budgets, when I say real cars, real life, and real budgets, that's what I mean. I'm not out here trying to make up stuff for the sake of a show. I like having a show. I mean, I don't consider it a show because it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but it's real. So I want to keep it as real. Yeah, I can't even say it without laughing. Yeah, I want to keep the content as real as possible, as organic as possible, whatever you want to call it. I just don't, this isn't. I get up and go on drives on Sunday morning and talk to myself regardless and make, plans and thoughts and stuff. So having the channel does give me an outlet and helps me focus that energy a little better. It also helps me keep a plan and stick to it, which, like I say, is what kind of bugged me out about the lost footage situation, because I don't know how I'm going to recover from that. Things, maybe it'll all come together, maybe it won't. Maybe you'll see more interludes like this of me making excuses of why I don't have any exciting working on my cars footage for the week. But it doesn't mean I'm not working on stuff. It just means that availability, parts availability, space availability, physical availabiliby. There are a lot of things that go into financial, a lot of things that go into just working on a car. So I'm going to do my best to continue to make it look easy, and I do appreciate you all watching and following along. I get it's not for everyone, but hey, tell enough people so that they know it's not for them. I'm going to have to just start working on, working harder. I do work as hard as I can with this, but I appreciate the support. I appreciate all the merch, the sales of everything. As I said, we're buying engines and stuff. We're gonna spend our own money as long as we physically can, because I'm gonna build my cars. If I don't have a channel, I'm still gonna build cars. So the whole reason of having the channel was because I got tired of watching so many other people with channels building their cars, and it just didn't make sense to me to not build my own cars. Granted, there are some differences, but I don't really consider those hindrances. I just consider them differences. So yeah, for now, I appreciate the novelty of doing it all outdoors, and thankfully the weather's starting to break here a little bit, and I can work outdoors again. But eventually getting all these cars indoors so I can work on them every day, or even every other day, or whatever the case, and work on them one day and edit the next, or whatever the case. I really would like to do it that way. I mean, I do have I have a bigger plan for this than it may seem. I'm just not big with touting my plans. I mean, I do speak things into existence as best I can, but I just don't like to troll a lot of stuff out there to pick up bad energy. So that's why I keep a lot of the major plans to myself. But each car does have a plan. Each car has sorry, rumble strips. Each car does have a plan. Each car has a purpose. Each car has like a grand goal with like the rendering and the whole, like, all of that stuff. It really is there. Like, it really is a part of all this for me. It's not just a bunch of boring cars I'm going to keep to drive around. Like, I do have bigger plans, and I do mean competitions, events, things like that, based for all these cars, goals for all these cars. So it is something I do plan to stick with. Babble. Again, shout out Taylor Ray. And I don't mean to babble in a negative way, because sometimes you just got to tell the people what's going on. Cooper Rigetti. Sometimes you just got to break it down. Let us all know. I mean, a lot of the guys I watch, especially Brent, PFI, and those guys, and even Boosted Boys. I mean, Emilio, all these guys. We try to keep content going, and I've even learned from just watching them. I don't know any of these people. We'll all meet someday, but I don't know any of these people. But what I have learned watching from them is keeping a regular schedule of content is not as easy as one may think. Even when you have the space, even when you have all the cars. So I appreciate the honesty of the people I look up to, because we all do this similarly, but we all do it differently. And the way that I like to do it know it's not easy, but it's still the way that I would like to do them. And I'm sorry if the road's loud, but hey, it's Salt Lake. What do you want me to do? But in any event, I appreciate you guys sticking in and hanging in there with me. It has not gone as planned, I will say that much. And I'm doing my best to steer the ship back the way I wanted to go. Because, yeah, it's not necessarily... It hasn't gone poorly. It hasn't gone badly. It's definitely been a learning experience, but it definitely has not gone as planned. And with that said, I am going to get off the road now and drink some water. We will see you guys in just a bit, because that's going to be... You'll either be watching the Mercedes episode next week or right after this, or maybe this will be an intro, or who knows. But thanks for watching. Myld Style, real cars, real life, and real budgets.